This is not meth.
This is the moment that Walt earned Tuco's respect. But watch his body language closely, because there's a fair more going on here than you realise. I'm Enigma and I'm a qualified body language analyst and private investigator, and today we're going to be analysing Walter White in this iconic scene. So right off the get-go, Walt is clearly showing signs of increased sympathetic arousal. He pacifies by touching his mustache, and he also has his mouth wide open, accommodating an elevated respiration rate. He's nervous, but in control.
You Tuco? I want to talk to Tuco, and I'm not leaving until I do.
So Walt is making deliberately strong eye contact here, whilst also avoiding moving his head. This is incongruent with his previous nonverbals, and shows that he's consciously restraining his expression to appear confident. However, he slips up slightly, and performs a tongue press on the side of his mouth. But it's super subtle and hard to see. He does this to give his nervous system proprioceptive feedback, which helps reduce his anxiety. He is terrified here. So when he's being patted down, his nonverbals slip up slightly, and he expresses his extreme respiration rate, opening his mouth as his defense mechanism tries to fill his body with the oxygen he needs to defend himself. Walt is again terrified.
What's your name?
Heisenberg.
Heisenberg. Okay. Have a seat, Heisenberg.
I don't imagine I'll be here very long.
No?
So Walt performs a subtle head twitch as he says the fake name Heisenberg, driven by a burst of sympathetic arousal. Lying to Tuco elevates his arousal and he immediately restrains it to appear composed, which is why it looks so abrupt. And when Walt says that he won't be here long, Tuco immediately distances to the floor and performs a strong lip press, which is a form of emotional suppression. Walt disobeying him fills him with extreme rage, but he deliberately restrains it as he focuses on talking business. But it just shows how extreme his emotions are and how fast they can change.
Be that way. It's your meeting. Why don't you start talking and tell me what you want?
$50,000.
Oh, man. 50 G's? How you figure that?
35 for the pound of meth you stole, and another 15 for my partner's pain and suffering.
Partner. Oh, yeah. I remember that little bitch. So you must be daddy.
When Walt makes a valid point, Tuco immediately distances his attention to the floor, which is a psychological self-protection mechanism. He knows that Walt is right, and that he can't beat him by having a rational conversation, so instead decides to intimidate him, putting the cigarette out on his tongue. And when he does this, Walt immediately expresses the Globus response, swallowing as he feels a surge of sympathetic arousal from his fear.
Let me get this straight. I steal your dope. I beat the piss out of your mule boy. And then you walk in here and you bring me more, man? Woo, that's a brilliant plan, isn't it? Brilliant.
You got one part of that wrong. This is not meth.
Sorry to interrupt, but I have a new Discord, so if you'd like to hang out with me and ask me some questions, then please click the link in the comment section. So this is a really nice detail. As Tuco slams his hand down on the table, which is where the fake meth is, Walt immediately receives a sympathetic spike, as he realizes that the explosives could have prematurely detonated. It's really subtle acting, but he makes eye contact down toward it, whilst also expressing mouth tension, as well as the Globus response.
Nuts! You wanna find out? No, Sganzo, calma! Calma. You got balls. I'll give you that. All right. I'll give you your money. That crystal that your partner brought me, it sold faster than $10 ass in TJ.
Everyone immediately has their defense mechanisms triggered here as part of the startle response. Tuco initially enters the fight response, but as he realizes that Walt deliberately planned it, he then enters the freeze response, with his basal ganglia system restricting his motor output, whilst his amygdala reassesses the threat. His amygdala realizes that Walt is on a different level to the criminals he's used to dealing with, so immediately treats him differently and agrees to work with him, despite literally just having his office blown up by him. Tuco isn't completely insane. He understands power and intimidation.
Let's say you bring me another pound next week. Money up front. All right. Money up front. Sometimes you gotta rhyme to keep your riches. It's as long as we got an understanding.
1 pound is not gonna cut it. You have to take 2.
Orderly. Hey, what is that shit?
Fulminated mercury. A little tweak of chemistry.
So both Walt and Tuco maintain intense eye contact here, but for very different reasons. Walt remains firmly in the fight response, while Tuco's sympathetic arousal rapidly falls once he realizes that Walt isn't there to attack him. Yet he continues matching Walt's eye contact, which is a form of rapport building and social mirroring. Tuco now sees Walt as an equal rather than the father of some punk kid he just beat up, and that shift earns Walt his respect. So as Walt leaves, Tuco actually smiles and laughs, because he realizes that Walt isn't who he thought he was. He's almost in awe that he met someone with the same audacity and nerve as him. And we see this exact same dynamic in Better Call Saul, when Mike threatens Hector Salamanca, earning his respect and getting his $50,000. And as Walt gets into the car, he experiences a wave of sympathetic downregulation, finally releasing the extreme tension and adrenaline that he's been suppressing. His screaming and shouting is essentially a massive emotional discharge, after the threat has passed, which is known as a parasympathetic rebound. Walt was acting during this whole confrontation, playing the role of Heisenberg, but inside was utterly terrified. And this persona won Tuco's respect, dangerously rewarding Walt's ego. And the euphoric release during his downregulation shows just how much he craves the feeling of respect and winning. And over the next few seasons, we see Walt rapidly losing himself to his ego, to a point where he stops acting and actually becomes Heisenberg.